Hi, hey, I'm Morgan, and today I'm here to bring you the rapid fire book tag. So this tag was originally created by Girl Reading, and I will leave her link to that video in the description. I wasn't tagged to do this. I'm taking it upon myself to do it anyway. There are 24 questions in this tag. The goal is to answer them as quickly as possible in a rapid fire like format. Ebooks or physical books? Physical books 100%. I really enjoy collecting physical books and having a library in my room, and I enjoy the aesthetic of physical books and like feeling the pages in my fingers and like all that stuff. I love physical books. Paperbacks or hardcovers, I enjoy the aesthetic of hardcover books far more than I do paperback books, but when it comes to actual like functionality and comfort while reading those books, paperback is so much more comfortable to read. Sometimes the hardcovers can like dig into my hands when I'm reading because I'm a mess and they're so stiff, but paperbacks are nice and flimsy and they'll move however you want them to move, and I really enjoy paperback books. If I'm strictly buying a book like for my shelf and I want it to be pretty, I usually go for hardcover. Online or in-store shopping. In-store 100%. I very seldom buy books online, and I'm a very shop local person. I love to get a cup of coffee and walk around the bookstore and just like listen to the music and like look at all the different books and read all the different synopses for all these books. It's my favorite thing. Trilogies or series? I lean more towards series. I think there's just too many trilogies out now. Like, there's nothing wrong with a duology or a standalone. Not everything has to be 3 books. This is a direct call out to that year where every dystopian book that came out was a trilogy. Heroes or villains? I find the backstory of villains to be supremely more interesting than that of heroes. I love reading fairy tale retellings that are from the perspective of the villain or like an unlikely hero. I really enjoy seeing the backstory of how these people became so evil. I love it. I love it oh so much. Villains, 100%. A book you want everyone to read? For me, it's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini. I think that this is an extremely important book. It tackles the subject of mental illness and depression in teenagers, as well as sheds light as how things are done in psychiatric facilities and how teenagers and people deal with these different illnesses. And I think that this book is beautiful and it's written so wonderfully, and I think that everyone needs to read this book. I love it. It's so good. It's so incredibly wonderful. Recommend an underrated book. An underrated book that I really enjoy was Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I say that this is underrated because Rainbow Rowell is more commonly looked at for her young adult books like Carry On, Fangirl, Eleanor and Park, even though I personally think that book is trash. Where Rainbow Rowell shines is in this book. It's an adult contemporary story. It takes place in the late 90s. The Y2K bug is like a threat. So if that's any indication of where this story takes place, it takes place in an office setting. It tells 2 different stories. One, the story of Lincoln, who is the security monitor for the computer system at this office, and then it's also told through emails between these 2 characters, Beth and Jennifer, who email each other back and forth on very personal matters, and Lincoln has to read all of the emails for security purposes, and he begins to fall in love with Beth by way of reading her emails. The friendship in this book is so cute. The romance in this book is amazing. I just read Rainbow Rowell's adult books. I think that they are astounding. The last book you finished? The last book I finished was Stuff I've Been Feeling Lately by Alicia Cook. This is a collection of poetry. I mentioned it a couple times on my channel. A really neat premise. Some of the poems were a little lackluster for me and it kind of fell a little flat. I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars, but it was still really enjoyable. The last book you bought? See, this is difficult because I received a book recently that I personally didn't buy. Ben bought it for me to celebrate me finishing my 2nd year of college. That book would be A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and I'm so excited that I have this now so I can finally dive into this trilogy. I have been very intrigued by the premise since the first book came out, but I wanted to wait until all 3 books came out so I could just like buy them and read them. So I'm really excited about this. This cover is absolutely beautiful. If we're going off the book that I personally bought for myself, it would be A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Weirdest thing used as a bookmark. The thing is, I have quite the growing collection of bookmarks. It's very difficult for me to have like a weird thing I've used as a bookmark. The strangest thing I've probably used is like a Wendy's receipt or a post-it note. Used books, yes or no? Yes, I love used books. I very seldom buy used books because we don't have a lot of used bookstores in my area, but anytime I can find a used book that's in a really good condition, I'll buy it. Top 3 favorite genres. Anything that features LGBTQ characters. I know that's not a genre, but I love LGBTQ representation in any book, any genre. Usually it's YA contemporary, but you know. Fairy tale retellings. I love fairy tale retellings. Is that considered a genre? I'm gonna count it as one. And just contemporary. I love gushy contemporary. I think because it's starting to be summer, that's all I want to read is gushy summer contemporary. Thankfully I have a bunch of it. Borrow or buy. I am a buyer. Not because I don't like borrowing books, I do. I think borrowing books is really great and I am totally fine with anyone, like with lending my books to anybody, but it's uncomfortable for me to borrow books because I feel anytime I borrow someone's book, I see that person everywhere until they get their book back, and I'm a fairly slow reader, so it's one of those things where I'm walking around town and I've got my books and I'm like hanging out and I see that person in the distance and without fail they like spot me from like a football field's length away and they're just like, hey, how's that book treating ya? And it's like, it's okay. It's just, oh, it makes me feel so rushed. It also makes me feel pressured to like the book. Characters or plot. I would rather take super developed, beautiful characters that I can root for and personally connect with and a mediocre plot over a brilliant plot and subpar characters. I'm all about characters. I'm all about character development. I'm all about it. Give me good characters. Long or short books. I really enjoy just long, epic stories that I can connect with. Long or short chapters. I like short chapters because it makes me feel like I'm reading like so fast and it just, oh man, I love when I'm like, oh man, I'm flying through this because every chapter is 2 pages long. Name the first 3 books you can think of. Hollow City. Oh my gosh. A Darker Shade of Magic and Attachments, because I mentioned 2 of those in this video and I just, whatever. Books that made you laugh or cry. I'm gonna go with one of each. A book that made me laugh was You Deserve a Drink by Mamrie Hart. I absolutely adored this book. I kind of want to reread it soon. It was really funny. There are like different cocktails in this. The book has a built-in drinking game in it and it's really great. It's a phenomenal read. The book that made me cry was More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. This was Adam's debut novel. It's super beautiful. It's an incredible story. It sort of reminds me of my favorite movie of all time, which is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It definitely gives off those vibes and it's beautiful. This book made me bawl my eyes out the entire time that I was reading it pretty much. Like, it made me ugly cry so much. It's so beautiful. I love it. Everyone read it, please. Our world or fictional worlds, 100% fictional. I want to go to Hogwarts and Middle Earth and to Camp Half-Blood. Like, take me there, please. That's where I want to be. I want to be where the wizards are. I want to see them enchanting, walking around waving those, what's that word again? Oh, wands. Audiobooks, yes or no? I appreciate audiobooks for what they are. I personally can't listen to audiobooks. It's really hard for me to focus on audiobooks, which is so upsetting because I feel like I would get so much more read in the month if I were able to listen to audiobooks, but I just can't, and it's so devastating for me. And I think the only audiobooks I'd be able to personally listen to would be memoirs. I wonder if it's because usually the writers of those memoirs are the ones narrating their audiobook. I really want to read Lauren Graham's memoir, Talking as Fast as I Can, and I wonder if her audiobook would really do anything for me because it's her talking and I feel like it would just be like her telling me her life story. So I'm gonna try that, but as of right now, I say no personally for audiobooks. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Yeah, all the time. It's very difficult for me to buy books with unattractive covers, and sometimes I'll buy books solely because the cover looks pretty. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations. I actually prefer book to TV adaptations better, but more specifically book to Netflix adaptations. I think that you're able to do more with adapting the book when it's book to TV as opposed to book to movie. Movie or TV show you preferred to its book, Whip It, or Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Series or standalones? Standalones, 100% standalones. I think that sometimes I just want to read one book and have it all be tied up at the end and have it all be good. Not everything has to connect and not everything has to be a series. I love series, don't get me wrong. I would never want like Harry Potter to be a standalone, but like YA contemporary does not need to be a series. So guys, there you have it. That was the rapid fire book tag. I guess I'm gonna like tag some people now, so that'll be neat. If you've already done this tag and I tag you, sorry. You're tagged again. I'm gonna tag Jessie over at Jessie's Shelf, Melanie at It's a Bookish Thing 13, girl, and Kenzie Staley. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and like leave comments about your answers to this question, or if you've done this tag, or if you plan on doing this tag. I don't know. If you want to see more of my content, you can always subscribe. I'm on a more consistent schedule. I'm uploading every Monday and Wednesday, so that's exciting. You get to see this pink-haired mug 2 days a week. What? Consistently? Whoa! Like I said, my name is Morgan. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and happy reading. Okay, bye!